Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks, and somebody sent me this photograph of sugar and spice, everything nice, what little girls are made out of. So I just typed it out, and you're not limited to the size, but you want all the words to be the same size, so I just typed it out. And then you're gonna go Control K, and that's gonna break every line out. We need to find the length of this line. And this line is 17 point, we're gonna make it 17.5. Now make all these 17.5 with this ratio locked. And don't worry about the placement yet. Some of the words are going to be big, but that's just like in the word itself or the plaque. And once you do this, you can make it any size you wanted to after you were done. And I could have started off with a different size, but just take a second, one more word. All right, we've got them. Now kind of just get them apart, and you see what I got to. And we'll move this one down and move it down a little bit more. Let me move this out of the way for a second. Now I'm going to hit L, and that's going to put them all. So I could have put L or R for left or right to get them aligned. And then I want to look at it in wire, or not wireframe, but in an outline. A hairline outline is what we need anyway. And you just need to kind of use your imagination what it's going to look like. And matter of fact, let's try this real quick. Let's take all of them, go up to your Windows, Dockers, and align and distribute, and we want them all to be aligned. No, not that one. Not that one. There we go. Distribute space vertically. And you could have done that with a keystroke too. So now we're there. But some of these letters are going to need to be joined together, much in like this is, like the S and the P and the C. So I would do your big letters first, and then you might have to resize them anyway. But this is still a font, so we can take our shape tool and join them together, just so they kind of overlap. Now we could take this one and Control K, break them apart, and then grab them, convert them to a curve, and then weld them. So there's that one word. So our new length is going to be 14.4. Well, you could put it back to 17.5. That doesn't really matter. And then what I did earlier, remember I hit L, so that'll line them all up. So the spice is already done. And then take this font while holding down the control button after you start moving it, and move it straight down. And just kind of look at the letters that are going to be joined. And this is a kind of like a call here, what you want it to look like. See here, they've got the letters kind of joined. They're not all joined. Like that doesn't look, well, I guess it is. I guess all the letters are joined, and that might be the easiest thing too. And that doesn't matter. So we're gonna take the shape tool. Well, we don't want to do you can't really do the N and the A, or the N and the D, because then it'll all be one letter. So that's pretty good. And then you could take individual letters with your shape tool and hold down your control button so it'll be perpendicular. And this is not hard, but it's a little bit time consuming. And if you just hold down your control button, and see those words need to be separated a little bit anyway. So now let's hit and make this, well, this is, how can it still be 17.5? Well, it's not. Now go, well, let's weld them. Because I don't think on the and the deal, they're going to hit the letters, so they don't really need to be welded together. So take that and Control K, breaking them apart. Go up to Object or Control Q and do that, and then grab it all and weld it. And then make it 17.5. Now go back and hit L, R, R. And then you can move this one up, and it'd almost be easier because this is pretty big. Let's make our nudge to 0.25. Well, even 0.25 is too much. 0.1, and just move that up. Maybe even one more. We'll call that good. And then grab both these lines, not the third line, and weld them. Now this is one single piece of wood. Now it did not weld, for some reason it did not weld this part, but just take your virtual segment delete key and draw you a line through there. And now it didn't do it on the A. That's a lot of times the weld tool just doesn't work perfectly on things because it really doesn't know what you're wanting it to do. But you can always test it with the Smart Fill tool. Now it's 17.5, so we're good to go. And then left click, right click, and then build off of that one. You know, go from there. And just do that. Now every letter doesn't have to be welded if there's a good spot. Like let's go here and this time let's hit R. It's going to give us the same result. It's going to, basically it's just lining it up sideways. So let's take this font and nudge it up just a little bit. Now these letters don't need to be welded. That probably, the V needs to be welded so it won't fall apart. The A needs to be welded so it won't fall. But, well, they really they all need to be welded together. And you could do it a bunch of different ways. Let's take this and just nudge that A over a little bit. The A and the D look like they're going to be good. The V is going to be a little tricky. Let's see what their V looks like. Yep, see they connected the V to the E. So what I would do, especially this since these are two different words, I would select and hold down the shift key and select all these letters and then nudge them over. Well, really we didn't have to grab the second one. Just grab that one and just move that over ever so slightly. Now, to make it even stronger, you can grab just the E and bring it over, and then grab all these, Control K, grab it again, Object, Convert to Curves, weld it, and then you can try holding down the shift and grabbing this and welding it again. Now all those letters, now see here again, the weld did not take on this one, but just delete those lines. And actually there's a little bit of a, well, that kind of gives it a look. You can identify the different letters. And then again, just take your Smart Fill tool and fill that in. Now the A is evidently not touching anything, but it doesn't really have to because it's, well, it really does. Because you want it strong. So this is very easily fixed. Just select those two nodes and make the A just a little bit taller. It's going to get some strength from the bottom. And we actually went a little, that and looks a little bit funny. But then the nice has to be welded. And so we're going to nudge it up a little bit. And see, they don't have everything, and I don't mean to copy their work, but they've got these two letters welded and the C's welded, the N's by itself. So we can do the same thing. Only thing I suggest is to, don't forget after you do this to make it our 17.5. Then grab both those with the shift key. No, yeah, and we're gonna nudge it over to that I. It makes it not as nice, but, and then go up to object and break it apart. Go up to object, make sure you select the whole thing. Object, convert to curves, weld it, and then make it our 17.5. And then, once again, select everything and hit L, and it just lines it back up. Now, I think we didn't do that to the and, because we're not the same size. And, yeah, we didn't do that to the and everything. So you need to make sure you do that every step to make it work. And then I would just lower this, and that right there probably will work. So then grab the whole thing and weld it, and then just kind of look at it and see what it didn't weld. And then if you will just keep remembering every time you do something like this, it did weld some stuff, but it didn't weld it complete. And I don't like that Y good, the Y doesn't look very good. So you just need to kind of take your time more than I'm taking with this. And I might even finish this on my own and then make a little short video on problems I found or did. And I think we own one more Y. Nope, it's done. And then just take your Smart Fill tool and fill that in. The only mistake I've made so far is that it's not 17.5 on all the letters, and you can always take an indexing line. And we might not have done that on the spice. No, the spice is touching that. The and everything is the only thing not. And there would have been a way to fix this also, so it's not eating up so much of the letter. We had to move it up for the C and the I, but you could have maybe lowered the E a little bit. Anyway, I hope that made a little bit of sense, and thank you.